World Environment Day, and welcome to our milestone 50th episode of the weekly virtual Bigby Meetup. Founded in 2018, and in April 2020, the pandemic brought about its virtual edition. It is inspired by the people of Qatar, both local and expatriate, and dedicated to my mother. It aims to inform, to educate, to inspire, and bring communities together. I am so fortunate for our 50th episode to fall on World Environment Day, and even more to have as guests young Qatari environment ambassadors Aisha and Nasser, and International School of London parent volunteer and sustainable architect Sashi. Ahlan wa sahlan, guys.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Good.
Hope everyone's doing well.
Absolutely. So, I would like to start with each one of you all introducing yourselves to our audience. If we can start with the lady, Aisha.
Hello, my name is Aisha Al-Maadid. I'm from Greener Future Initiative. And today we're going to talk about the initiative and how we can save the environment.
Thank you. Sashi?
Hi everyone, my name's Shashi Narayanan. I'm an architect specializing in sustainable buildings here in Qatar, and I'm currently volunteering with the International School London as a parent volunteer on their Forest School Garden project.
Lovely. Nasser, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Nasser Al-Kawari, and I'm a high school graduate, and I advocate sustainability and preserving the environment.
Lovely. That's a lovely explanation. Thank you so much. Aisha, coming back to you, would you please give us more information about Greener Qatar? Or I keep saying Greener Qatar. It's Greener Future, right? My sister always corrects me there. Greener Future.
Yes, it's Greener Future. A lot of people say go green, Green Qatar, because our username is greener.qa, so people thought it's Greener Qatar. It's Greener Future, but at the end, we want the future of Qatar to be green.
Yeah, well said. Yeah. Could you explain, could you introduce the Greener Qatar initiative to all our guests? And you've been a busy lady today. I mean, you're very busy most of the time, but today you've been on other programs also. How was your day today?
It was an early morning day because, we are celebrating World Environment Day. So it's a very important occasion, and we want every day to be an environment day, not only one day. So Greener Future Initiative is a youth initiative that's we try as much as we can to spread awareness to save the environment by changing our habits, daily habits. And I believe that with the small change and small action, it will impact the environment. So in our page on Instagram, we try as much as we can to post videos, tips how we can reduce our waste, food waste or plastic waste, and what are the alternatives.
That's lovely. That's nice. And I see those you have now. They're nearly world famous. You make some lovely. You have a lovely blue waste bin. Is it a waste bin? Because you had it displayed at my physical event on sustainability 2 years ago, and that epitomizes it's like a brand symbol of greener future.
Yes, we do have 4 bins. That it's painted on the animals that are in Qatar and they are affected of the waste that is going on. There is camel, turtle, oryx, and also marine animals. So it's another way to spread the message how we can protect the environment.
Wow, lovely. It's so nice to see so many sustainable people on the show today, all like-minded like all of us, from Shreya to Faisal to Varda, Elizabeth, lovely, and all Bigby Meetup They've been on the show before. Yeah. Let's move to Nasser. Nasser, the first time we spoke, I was very impressed with your thought leadership on how we want to save the environment. So I'd like you to if you can resurrect that same ideas and please explain about Qatar environment. Is that your face? Is that your Instagram handle?
Yes, that's what I called it because there isn't. We're all should be supporting the environment at a whole, like the whole Earth depends on it. But I feel like in Qatar, it's kind of one of the countries that are having a huge effect, or like having this part of a huge effect on the environment. With the gas. And like the global warming that is happening near our side. I feel like if we come together, and we have the resources to just come together and use these resources and take advantage from them instead of waiting, because we know that by each year, the environment is getting worse and worse. And something that I've noticed is that, from this year and the last year, it has been raining less, and I'm sure more people have noticed that.
Absolutely.
And it's getting more hot and humid, which is also a danger. And what really scared me and pushed my buttons, especially an article that I read about Qatar and the Middle East, is that there's this article where it says, um, Africa and the Middle East is going to be uninhabitable by 2050. And reading that title and reading the article, I got frightened, because I was like, well, in 2050, that's where my life is going to start, and I don't want to risk that, as many people, many young people are also growing, and their life depends on it. So I guess that's where I started putting these problems together and saying, okay, this is where I have to like do something about this.
Nasser, uh, I love what you just said, and it
Yeah.
resonates with me, and I'm sure it does with Aisha and Shashi, and we should pick on these points. And I'd like you to even initiate talking to the Ministry of Environment on this. This is a lovely topic. I cannot say much of that because I'm not Qatari, but what you said makes a lot of sense. And yes, 2050, I don't know where I'm going to be, 6 feet below, or I don't know, sailing somewhere. But well said. Now let's move to Shashi. This is his first time on Bigby Meetup, and what a welcome he's got. He's on our milestone 50th episode. Shashi, could you please introduce yourself first as an architect? I must say the architecture is very, very close to my heart. It was the career path I wanted to take, so I'm very jealous of you right now, and even more so as a parent and as a sustainable architect. I'd like to know more about that before we delve into you being a parent volunteer.
Sure. Thanks, Bosco. So my sustainable journey started after my degree, and in the UK where I was trained, there wasn't actually that much work after my degree, so I had to go further afield and actually went to India. And to cut a long story short, I managed to get onto a team that was working in an earthquake zone in a place called Latur in Maharashtra.
Yeah,
And there had been a devastating earthquake there.
I
that
felt
had-
that. I felt those tremors.
That's right. Yeah. So it happened very early in the morning. Everyone was in bed. So there was quite a huge loss of life.
Yeah.
relative to the actual size of the earthquake. So I joined a team led by a very famous and influential architect called Laurie Baker, who was building sustainably in India before the actual word sustainable had even been coined as an accepted phrase. So he was
Wow.
working with indigenous materials. He was working with the poorest of the poor sections of the India. His wife was working in leper colonies. She was a doctor, and so she went all over India, and he accompanied her, and he ended up having the poorest of the poor charity groups, very poor individuals as his clients. So they didn't have obviously much resources. So he had to be very ingenious in terms of how he actually made his buildings. And they were very simple structures using very simple materials like brick, but they were using them in a very inventive, very creative ways. And so that's what sort of triggered my interest. We were going into some of these uh, devastated villages and putting forward ideas on how the houses and the different structures could be fixed and improved. And we were contrasting against the government at the time, the Maharashtra government, who were advocating concrete boxes, but the people weren't actually interested in moving into them. Because they thought these things were going to fall down on their head again. So there was a lot of engagement with the community, understanding how they built and what they considered as safe. So that was my first introduction, and just over the years, I was always the one in a design team, in an architecture team, asking the difficult questions about where does this come from? Why are you doing it like this? And being a general kind of pain. And so by 2007, I was in a specialized role as a sustainability architect. I did a qualification called LEED, which is basically looking at how to make buildings.
Is that LEED? Is that LEED? Yeah.
That's correct. Yes. So it takes buildings through a whole program of requirements, and the more things you do, the greener your building becomes. And I feel buildings are very important as a topic, because we spend 90% of our time within buildings, probably in this part of the world more.
Yeah.
And their impact is quite huge. 40% of all carbon emissions come from the building and running of the construction and day-to-day servicing and running of buildings. So it's a big impact. They're big items that need to be resourced, and we need to think very carefully about how we do that. So moving swiftly on, I was invited in 2015 to come and work on the Gold Line as the sustainability manager for the new metro project.
Lovely.
And that meant I had to achieve the aims, or the green aims of the project was to get a 4-star GSAS project. So GSAS is the local certification that's modeled on LEED and is looking specifically at the requirements needed in Qatar. And so to this day, I'm working on 2 of the stadiums, the Raspa Boot Stadium, which is the world's first demountable stadium.
It is my favorite stadium, actually.
Yes, it's very special. Yeah.
Which is the other stadium?
And Lusail Stadium, which is the iconic stadium where the closing ceremony.
You got a dream job there.
That's right. So I'm actually supporting the Supreme Committee. We're ensuring that the contractors, teams, and all of the different subcontractors are actually all on the same page, going in the same direction, making sure that the actual trajectory of green certification is achieved. As one of your previous participants mentioned, that there was a 4-star requirement in the contractors' contracts, but we actually we're seeing 5-star buildings coming through, and this is quite amazing because there was no precedent for a green stadia as such.
Oh,
There was nothing ever done, because this size of structure has never had to be considered in this way. So the design teams, the engineers, everybody involved have had to literally rewrite the book, write their own standards, and
wow.
test them and make sure that they work in this environment. And I think it's a testament to the thousands of workers and designers and everyone, that the projects are coming through now. They are doing what they would said they'd do on the box. They're being independently verified by auditors who come in and make sure that what you said you'd do in design stage is actually being done. So they actually come in and check. So it's not just a paper exercise where you tick a box and everyone gives you a round of applause. It is an actual
Yeah.
third-party verified, independently verified system. So we need to be very careful what we say we're going to do and how we're going to do it, because the auditors are going to ask for the evidence.
True, true.
And
So it's pardon?
I was just going to go into the parent volunteer aspects.
Before you go there,
Yeah.
I just want to say that this is really truly groundbreaking, and the Rasabu Abud Stadium is my favorite stadium, and I've played football there in the prior stadium that was there as a kid.
Yeah.
It was part of Qatar Petroleum, so
Yeah.
it's like they're reducing their carbon footprint, which is in a nice way, by donating that space. And also, it is I believe it is the greatest legacy that the Qatar FIFA World Cup will leave, because they are donating that stadium to lesser fortunate FAs, football associations or
right, yeah.
countries, and and also by not leaving a white elephant,
Absolutely.
because many of these big events, they leave a lot of white elephants,
Yeah.
and that's unnecessary. So kudos to that, and kudos to you for being part of that. But I believe more kudos to you for being a parent volunteer. Now, please elaborate.
So yeah, I'm helping at my son's school along with a team of other parent and teacher and student volunteers, and ISL is targeting a certification called the Eco Schools certification. So in a similar way to GSAS and LEAD, it's going through a whole series of measures to show that sustainability and environmental thinking has been integrated into the curriculum, and the students are learning about different aspects of environmental stewardship and the effect on different things. So as Christina Powell mentioned previously, the subjects are biodiversity, greening the school grounds, and waste, and they're going to be the subjects that are looked into over the next 2 years. And so this project
How many-
for the forest school.
How many parents, sorry, Sashi, how many parents are involved as volunteers? That's very nice.
So it varies. There's about four or five at the moment, but it varies from week to week. So we've got different people coming in with different specialism. One of the parents is an actual garden designer, and he makes.
wow.
And so he'll give us lots of sort of technical know-how in terms of the actual plant choices, how best to irrigate, and that kind of thing. So just going back to the forest school. So the forest school is actually a sub project within the Eco School program, and it's just one kind of event. And what we're looking to do is create almost like an external classroom that's modeled on the forest school ideas. So everyone will have a specific idea in their head when you say forest. So I need to kind of, manage your expectations. You're not going to get that kind of forest. It's going to be something that is going to be an environment where children can learn outside at the right times of the year. And it's going to be installed with lots of things to educate them regarding the actual requirements, biodiversity. There's going to be insect hotels. There's going to be different ways of propagating and telling the story. The plants that I mentioned before, the plants that are being used are going to be native.
Just a minute,
Yeah.
I mean, on the subject of the forest school, I want to ask actually Aisha and Nasir, uh, what do you think of when I say forest school project? What comes to your mind, Aisha? Just
To me, actually, it is a green place, like a green classroom or an area. From maybe 2 weeks ago, I saw a video of a school in Kuwait,
oh,
and they have a huge garden in their schoolyard. They transferred the yard. There was a place that they have and they didn't use it, so they transferred it to a garden. And they have a lot of plants. They grow a lot of plants. So some of them they use the vegetables and the fruits for their lunchtime. The kids use them for their lunchtime. So it's in a creative way how they are teaching the kids to be sustainable in living, but in physical way, like they're teaching them how to do it. So I
ah,
really love it. Yeah, I
can
wish to go back to school and learn this.
yeah. Well, you know what? Before the end of this program, I'm going to make sure you go back to school, and not just any school. I'm going to make sure you go to International School of London and plant a tree there. There's a reason I had to stop Shashi because this is exactly what I wanted, and I saw a smile on Shashi's face. Uh, Aisha, is it possible for you to connect us with the school in Kuwait? Because of this, I mean, this is a groundbreaking, pun intended, initiative that International School of London has started in Doha. I don't think any other school is doing such a thing. But you know, I feel it'll be lovely for other schools to follow suit. It'll be fantastic. And you just gave us a lovely idea where you can actually you can actually transport the classroom to the forest. I'm sure that's a plan in the future for the project, Shashi. What do you think as a
Yeah,
architect?
absolutely. It's not going to be if you say classroom, people have very specific views in their mind. They say it'll be an environment where teaching and learning can happen.
Yes.
Okay, lovely. Wow, that's our first Austrian on our show. Great to hear from the ski
That's
country.
that's my brother-in-law tuning in.
Oh,
Very very.
lovely, lovely. That's nice. I love his name too. Yeah. Nasir, what comes to your mind when we talk about a forest school project?
Well, we don't have a lot of forests here in Qatar, so when I search up forest on Google, I see this vast place, vast ground of dirt with trees, all cramped together. So that's what comes to mind. But I mean, like Shashi said, you know, it's not as everyone expects. So you gotta also make it work, especially with this environment that we're living in. So I would say you know, maybe it would be kind of like the oxygen park if you guys went there.
Yeah.
There would
Yeah.
be support from artificial you know, structure, man-made structures that could maybe support the life that are grown.
Yeah.
So maybe that it would help make it keep it greener, as students could study outside without being, you know, without being heated from the sun's rays. So yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, yeah. Well. I like these pointers. What do you think, Sashi?
Absolutely. NASA's alluding to how the design is actually developing. We are going to be introducing structures where plants can grow, and it's the hope that by the time the garden matures, you know, a lot of the structures that we're introducing will be covered up. To link this garden school to the stadium project, we've actually managed to get hold of some waste wood from the Ras
Oh,
Bubu
wow.
Stadium site. We sent a whole truckload of
Fantastic.
wood that was going to end up in landfill. So we've diverted it to
Can
the
you repeat that? That's very strong information and statement. Lovely.
That's right. Yeah. So the timber was going to actually end up in
Landfill.
yeah. So we managed to
Bravo.
persuade the contractor and the client to donate some to the school.
Do you have pictures of that? Do you have
We
pictures
have,
of that?
we've got pictures. Yeah, we can share those. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's going to be part of the actual story.
And-
Storing this wood on the construction site and taking it over to the school. So
And lovely to have my namesake and your son tune in too.
that's right. Yeah.
Where is he tuning in from, Sashi?
He's tuning in from downstairs. So
Okay, nice to see you, Nicholas, on the show. Lovely. And is he an ISL student?
he is. Yes, he's 13 years old. He's been in ISL now for just over 2 years, and yeah, he's on the eco team committee as well.
Oh, fantastic.
They've all got little projects. Yeah.
Great, lovely. So, what are the key attributes of the Forest School project, Sashi?
So, if you actually Google the term forest school, there's actually an organization that pushes this idea, and it's the ethos that children should be encouraged to be outside within nature. Nature has a calming influence on all of us, and especially students. And they found that engagement by the students when they're learning outside, so they're usually learning to make things and solve different problems. They get very excited and very engaged. So we're taking on board all these different aspects and creating and trying to put, it's not going to be possible to put every idea that's come through. We've had some brilliant ideas come through from the students. They've done some amazing sketches about the kind of things they'd like to see. A lot of planting of fruit and vegetables and these kind of things. So because the space we've been allocated is not a huge amount, we've actually got another area on the school roof, which is going to function as a bit of a greenhouse, producing vegetables.
Okay.
They've already done that in previous years already, so we're going to reinvigorate that now and see how that production can increase. So that's going to be the kind of the business end, the busy end of the project.
Yeah.
Whereas the forest garden is going to be more of the actual contemplative area with different things for the children to interact with. They've asked for a tree house. They've asked for water. They've asked for everything. So it's going to be a real challenge trying to.
What else have they asked for? I mean, I can actually, because on my field trips in Qatar as a nature photographer, as an avid professional photographer, I have visited quite a few farms. And when I say farms, I've visited some royal farms, date farms, stud farms, and you can actually create a forest in Qatar. Yep. You can.
Yeah.
I've seen some, and the best part is the coolness that you get there, even in the summer, and the amazing biodiversity of flora and fauna.
Absolutely.
Especially when the migratory birds come along. I've seen some whoopie larks. I've even seen some birds of prey, like they fly in from they're known to travel from Iran to Afghanistan, and then they fly by Doha, stop over Qatar Airways, something like that. It's amazing. So I'm very for this project. What are the initial plans in play, and what are the timelines, if you can share any?
So the target is to start planting by the planting season, which is October, when it will become cool enough to actually start that process. So what we're trying to get going over the summer is all of the planting beds and getting everything ready so that they can take on the plants, and making sure all the irrigation lines and the methods of watering and sustaining all the plants is working. So we are very early stages in the design. the last discussion we had was to actually come up with maybe 2 or 3 designs, and then let the students actually choose the students and the school community choose which one is their favorite design, and we'll do our best actually to make that as close as possible to what's
Fantastic.
yeah.
And what would you like? I mean, one question. I mean, couple of questions. What would you like from me? Okay, for the school project. What would you like to? What would you like from the general public for the school?
I mean, what you're doing now, Bosco, is an amazing initiative. Just getting the word out there, just letting people know that these kind of projects actually do exist and they are coming to fruition in Qatar. So anything that can help the process, donations of plants, or even we are seeking mature trees as well. If anyone can give us something that's a bit larger, because I'm afraid that the expectation that's built up around this project, people will arrive on site and they'll see a few twigs and go, what was all the fuss about? So it would be good to actually have some mature trees that we can include in the design, and obviously we can put whoever's donated it, their names on the tree and stuff. So
good old English humor. I like that. Shashi, what I would like to donate is, I was going to say a native plant of Qatar, because I've created a native plant of Qatar calendar with Flower Each Spring, the first NGO of Qatar, the first green NGO of Qatar, and the school has this with them. Hang on. They are actually different flora of Qatar, of the Arabian Gulf, actually. Beautiful, from Ghaf to Sidra to different trees, Definitely you need to have a Sidra tree, of course, and I'm sure Qatar Foundation can give you some. They should. But I would like to donate an adaptive tree. Now, me being from India, from Goa, I'd love to donate a mango or a papaya tree or a sapling. I'll have to actually bring it from India. But over my 40 years in Qatar, you didn't hear 40, but yes, 40 years in Qatar, my neighbors from India, they grew a mango tree. They were living in Al Sad, and in their villa, they grew a mango tree, and it came to fruition. They actually had, they had the fruit
bearing.
Yes, absolutely. And as recently as a month ago, I've seen banana and papaya in a compound in Lusail, just across Lusail. There's a compound, Kipco compound.
Yeah. I'm actually that I've seen those as well, and the papaya tree. There's actually a couple of those growing outside the Lusail Stadium site office, so they definitely grow in this environment. So
with a little shade, because with 45 and 50 degrees, God bless those plants. But you need a bit of shade. But I'm sure we can do that if we can nurture it with love and affection with the students. And apart from donating a plant, Aisha and Nasir, what would you say of fostering one? I've been fostering stray dogs in my house for the past couple of years. And once you give them away, it takes a part of yourself. It's easy to donate, but when you foster, it's more powerful. So what I would say, Nasir, what is your favorite plant? And if you could actually donate it or a sapling, I could help you, of course, with that if you need some help. But I'd like you to donate and foster a plant at the International School of London. Now that you've finished your schooling, otherwise your school might get upset, like, hey, what are you doing with ISL? What do you
say? I'm not sure about which is the best plants for outdoors, but I've heard that snake plants are good because they give out a lot of oxygen at night. And I've been trying to get my hands on one when I find a really nice pot, maybe. And
nice.
Yeah, my goal right now is trying to make my house, green. as green as possible, trying to convince everyone to go green, so that I could maybe they could maybe this house, whenever someone comes in, they could find it inspiring. Because what I find in Qatar, as many Qataris could agree, is that we usually like to go on the easy route, see what people are doing, and then if we like this, we would usually mimic it. So if what we're doing is if people are looking at this and we tell them do this and that, they're not going to do it unless you actually do it. So I was thinking like getting plants in the house, live plants, not fake ones, and getting filtered water that goes straight to your house, which I've been trying to convince the house to get that, because most people in Qatar
Nice.
get bottles from the grocery and just put it over there, and it hurts to see all of it just trashed. We can't really recycle it because it's difficult to have recycling bins. So yeah, I would say to definitely get to start off with plants indoors and maybe work on from that.
Yeah, true, true. Well said. Sashi, what do you got to say to that?
Definitely. I mean, the plastic problem is a real issue. Trying to find different ways to reduce the amount of plastic through your water consumption is definitely a challenge here. In terms of saving water, lots of the air conditioners actually give off water on the outside during certain times of the year when the humidity levels are high. So that can actually be collected as well to do some irrigation. So
Lovely.
there's different ways.
On that note, I'm going to even ask one of our partners today, Seashore Recycling and Sustainability Center, to donate a couple of plants. I'm sure they can do that, and even help out with some other things that are needed at the school for the forest project. Aisha, what do you envisage about this International School of London's forest project? Have you heard of such initiative from any other place in Qatar or any other school? And what would you like to do in this project apart from being? I'm actually going to make you a de facto ambassador for the school project. You're gonna come with me in a couple of months, maybe when maybe in August or September. When are you gonna start the sapling, Shashi?
So planting is going to be October. Yeah.
October, yeah. So I think November would be a nice time. The weather will be fantastic. And if you're going to get adaptive and native plants and some trees there, it'll look nice and fancy. So Aisha, what do you suppose? What is your favorite plant, and what do you think you're going to
Actually,
donate?
to plant a tree in Qatar it's one of my dreams, because I planted a
lovely.
tree in Indonesia in 2018, a banana tree. So
Oh,
I would love to plant in Qatar. According to planting and according to the project that the school is doing, Qatar Academy
Aisha, can you
Yeah.
can you can you crank up your volume a bit? I can hear you, but your volume is fluctuating a bit.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, much
Okay.
better, much better. Yeah.
According to the project, Qatar Academy Sidra is working on this. They are trying to plant trees, to introduce this topic to the students. But I didn't follow up with them, so I really don't know what's their future goals or aims. But it's really an amazing idea. As I mentioned, that I want to go back to school to be one of these students to learn about plants, and also the important is why we are planting these trees or these plants, why they are important to have them in our environment or around us. So it's really important.
Yeah, well said. So, Aisha, I'm already going to be booking you to give a working session at the school, because they do invite speakers, to the school. On my last visit to the school, they had two wonderful expat women talk on animal rescue and also on mental health. So it'll be lovely to have a Qatari lady of your stature to speak on the environment,
Of course,
uh,
it's a pleasure.
and
You know,
also,
I'm so in love and passionate with the environment. So anywhere, I will glow with my green magic.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Uh, Coming back to Sashi, you in your couple of email trails with me, you educated me on two wonderful projects, Eden Project and Oman Botanic Gardens. Now we can leave the Eden Project for some time later, but I would love to know from you about a bit about the Oman Botanic Project, because it's Oman's a very close country to Qatar and also to me. I love the place, and it's got a better climate too, so it's kind of easier. But if what Oman can do, Qatar can definitely do. So can you?
Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So the
So what?
project in Oman is actually done by the same architect that did the Eden project, Nicholas Grimshaw. So basically, they're building a series of biomes, which are basically big greenhouses, and they're going to be including the different species of plants. They're going to be basically visitor attractions, and it's all being set up as as an educational facility as well as a tourist facility. It's going to have a dual purpose. So from there, this is very early stages, but if they can do it in Oman, I don't see why you can't do it here as well. There's lots
Yeah.
of planting. There's lots of growing happening in commercial scale greenhouses in Qatar already, and from we can learn from these different projects all over the world. It's possible to generate energy from the sun, which will help in the actual cooling of these facilities. So you'll actually get the temperature that you need within the greenhouse.
Give
And
me a
there's
second.
there's,
Carry
there's
on.
yeah, there is such an enthusiasm for greenery and planting and all gardens within the community of Qatar. I think it'll be a very popular facility for both the locals and for visitors. So I
So,
think it would be a brilliant idea.
So you mentioned the solar, and this is a solar light by a famous Spanish artist,
Hmm.
Olafun, and this was donated. I mean, not donated. It was given to me by Qatar Museums for our an Istidama event that I was going to have,
Hmm.
and I'm working on an eco school quiz where the kids will get this as a gift.
Excellent.
It's a solar light, and I am now actually using it at my home.
Yeah.
And on Earth Day earlier this year, I didn't use my electricity even for my program, except for the laptop actually. And I use these lights as lighting up my program for me,
Very good. Very
lighting
good.
up my Asian face. Yeah, so that's what I did. So solar lights is another very great thing to have here. Something very important I want to talk to you guys about, all three of y'all, is do you all know the theme of this year's World Environment Day? I mean, I don't want to ask Sashi, he's a parent, so I'm going to ask the students here, since Aisha wants to go back to school. Nasser, do you know what's the theme of this year's World Environment Day?
No, I don't. What is it?
This is what I love about you. You're very frank and very honest. God bless you for that, Nasser. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to quiz Aisha, because if she doesn't know it, it won't look really nice. Because for me, she's the Queen Green of Qatar. I call her that. She says, no, no. I call her Sheikha. She says, no, no. So, Kalas, Aisha. So, do you know the theme, Aisha?
Yes.
I'm not surprised, but can you shout it out?
Well, I don't want to mention the theme. I want to mention a slogan.
Oh, lovely. Please do.
The slogan is the recreate, restore, and reimagine.
Oh, wow. That's lovely. I nearly used that on my own, when I gave my little speech to you earlier this morning. That's nice. And guys, we have a wonderful lady on our show, or tuning in, Noura Al Aida. She is the proud mother of Salim. He is an artistic kid. a young 7-year-old, and just 2 or 3 days ago, I requested her to get him on a program for seashore recycling. They wanted a young kid to be their face for World Environment Day, and this boy mastered it. So I'd like you all to go to Seashore Recycling Program's Insta page and have a look at what little Salem has to say. Yeah? He's done an amazing job. This boy is a superstar. Thank you, Noora, for tuning in. Yeah, coming back to the Oman Botanic Gardens, would you like to say anything more about that, Shashi, or are you done?
I don't think that. I mean, people can Google it and see what the fantastic work that's coming through. I just wanted to put it out there that such a facility would work very well in Qatar as well. If you go to Singapore, there's something very similar by the bay there as well. And it gives people the opportunity to have an immersive experience within nature, and it'll be something that's not usually possible within Qatar unless you go to Purple Island or one of the places where there's lots of
Yeah,
native mangroves and stuff. To have an experience that's going to be very unique within obviously a controlled environment, but we have the technology, we have the talent and the skill
yep,
to make it happen. So I'd like to
true.
see it happen. Yeah.
Lovely. We have a question here from Dr. Theory Lisales. He is the sustainable radio jockey for Oryx Radio. But more than that, to me, he is the president of the Qatar Natural History Group. It's a lovely group. You guys should be part of that. Especially, actually, all three of you all will fit in easily. It is the oldest. I call them they are the eco ramblers. And his question is just sharing some concerns with our panelists. Greening is good, but considering the scarcity of water and the impact and the cost of water production in this environment, is this a good idea? Is this sustainable? Yeah, well, yeah, true. What do you got to say to that, Shashi?
So it's a very good point that Thierry has raised. Obviously, the choice of plants, the choice of actual, the way we choose to irrigate is going to be a very important factor. We're looking at closed loop systems where water will get recycled, it will get collected, it will get used as often as it can. So it's going to be one of the main drivers in this project. There's not going to be acres of lawn, which requires lots of water. So it's going to be very, very controlled in terms of its actual delivery, because obviously water scarcity is one of the main issues here, a very, very valuable and precious resource. So it'll be one of the drivers that will make this project sing in many ways, and it'll be an important way to educate all of those that take part in the experience on what is actually being done. Using drip irrigation techniques as opposed to just using lots of water, controlling the flow rate, making sure that you're delivering water at the right times of day where it's not going to evaporate and be wasted. So these are all considerations that we need to look into. But it's a very good point from Thierry.
Yeah, I have a few more questions to ask about the project, but I'm gonna surprise everyone and I'm gonna ask Christina from the school to hop on. I might just take a break from Nasser for a minute once Christina is here, but we'll just wait for her. Yeah, on talking about the drip irrigation, I can ask AG Leaves. They're a local Qatari company that do a lot in the irrigation field. Yeah, I know them pretty well. They showcased their irrigation technology at the Istidama event in 2019 at Barzan. Where Aisha was an amazing speaker there. Yeah, excuse me, guys. That's Simba barking there. But yeah. Coming back to, I started this thing a couple of months ago on my program where I give you all the chance to be the Bigby Meetup hosts. So you guys get to ask one question each to each one of us. And I'd like to start with our young brother, Nasir. So, Nasir, you get a chance to ask Shashi, Aisha, and myself a question. And what I always tell everybody is be kind.
Of course. I actually thought of a question that's generally for everyone in the panel. Like for example, Aisha has the greener future. Where do you think? Where do you think? How do you think your greener future is going to evolve? Um, and for example, the forest project that's going on, how do you think that's going to also evolve, and is that going to impact other people? Because and is it going to bring more attention? Because I've never heard of this, and when Bosco invited me to this meet, I was surprised to hear that a school is actually is actually getting people to work on this environmental project, and support the environment in that way. So I was just curious to ask you guys.
Wow, that's an in-depth question. I'm gonna take a break from that question. Can Nas and can Sashi and Aisha answer that before I even tackle it?
I think I'll just give a brief response. I think it's important to have showcase projects that show lots of things and how anyone can replicate those things in their own home or in their own working life. Simple examples is not saying that you need to do everything that's being put forward, but if you take away even one or two things from visiting or reading or learning about this forest garden, then the project itself has been of benefit, and it is acting as a change maker in many ways. So I'll let Aisha respond.
Yes, I totally agree. Of what did you say? Because as I mentioned in the beginning, that I believe that everyone can make a change. When we put our hands together to spread this awareness, as you mentioned, Nasser, about greener future, we are an initiative. At the end, we're trying our best to spread the awareness with the simple steps, and with this project, it will help the future generation. Will help the kids how they want their planet to be.
Very
Maybe
true.
when I was their age, I didn't had a school that will guide me into this, or we don't have that much information. We started Greener Future in 2018, but today in 2021 there is a how can I say, a huge number of people that they are more aware of what's going on, what they need and what they want. Because to save the environment and to protect it, it's not only to have a beach cleanup or to ban the plastic bags or to reduce our plastic use. It's about how we believe, the actions that we will take. Um, Also, when we go for a shopping, we check the item itself. Do we really need it? Do we really want it? Or what is it exactly? A lot of people think that saving the environment, as I mentioned, just beach cleanup or reducing plastic, but it's not. It's huger than this. I will mention one thing, since I am the only lady here.
Not for long. Not for long.
Okay.
Christina is with us.
Well, I'm waiting for her to support me.
Yeah.
My makeup that I put it on today is eco-friendly and it's culture-free.
Mashallah.
And there is no chemical. And
Fantastic.
There is no chemicals in it. So with easy steps, we can make the change. So we just, even if we don't know, we're not, we are new to sustainably living, we can learn and read.
True. Well said. Nasser, before I take a small break from you, because Christina is about to enter, I'm also going to take a break from that question you put just now. But can you repeat that question? Because I think Christina would be the perfect one to answer that question for me. So can you repeat what you said? What is the question? And I'll ask Christina to answer that for me.
Yes, the question was how do you think your contribution to the environment, or like for example, if you have a huge like initiative like for example greener future, how do you think it's
Yeah.
I
Hang on
think
a
I just
minute. Yeah, no, yeah, we heard you. We heard you. You heard him, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Hang on. Let us get the wonderful Christina on board. Hello, Christina. Welcome to
Hello.
the
Christina.
50th
Hello.
episode. Let me introduce you to Aisha. Aisha, this is
Hello,
Christina.
Aisha.
Hi,
She
how are you?
Nice to
she's
meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
yeah, she is the head of the Eco School projects. And actually, let her introduce herself to us. Please do that, Christina.
Hello, I'm Cristina, and, Cristina Paul, and I'm coordinator of the Eco School program in the school. And I work with Sashi and the other four very enthusiastic parents. And we set up this project with primary students, MYP students, and DPLE students, as well as parents and other members of staff. And I think we started with the Eco project in, as Sasha said, biodiversity and the school grounds and waste in the school. And in the waste in the school, we are going to look about the energy, how much energy the students and the school is wasting, the printing of the papers, recycling, recycle of plastics, and we are going to talking about the plastics that you mentioned before. We are going to also set up clubs that we can use recycle plastic bags and plastic cups to make yarn and to use crochet, the techniques of textiles, because I'm going to help in the arts and design. I'm art and design teacher. So we are going to use the technique of crochet to recreate artifacts to decorate this pool and use practical objects that cannot be thrown away. So I
That's
think
lovely.
although our is just one school and one movement, I think our contribution can help a lot
Yeah,
in answering Mrs. question.
absolutely. Shashi, can I just take a quick break from you and get Nasser on?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, let me do that, and I want to get Nasser on so that he can speak with Nasser. I hope your question was answered there, Nasser.
yes, thank you, I heard.
Yeah. So you like the answer that Christina gave you? That's fantastic. Christina, could you give us a little more information about the school and the project?
Yes, what we are trying to do is we're trying to create projects that the school, the students can take action, and those actions are sustainable, are long-term. They have long-term effect, long life effect. So what they do in the school now, if they're primary or secondary students, the effect of their actions can live with them after they leave the school, like Nasser is doing now. So I think it's very important to start for early. We work with students from very, very early age until diploma students. And we relate sustainability to the well-being, because I think if we have a better environment, if everybody's looking after the decoration of the mind, the pollution in the environment, the waste in the environment, and the forest school, we can have happier children and happier staff. So we connect sustainability and well-being very closely. And of course, we have to take into account the economic and factors of pollution and waste. So we try to make sustainability a whole program, not only and connect all the acts from the Eco School into the curriculum. So we're talking to the head of learning, so head of subjects, and see which ways they can develop their own units to have a more impact and to develop students to ask students to come with more questions and more open-ended units and more reflections.
Lovely. So, Christina, what I've done is I'm sorry to say this, but on the behalf of the school, I've invited Aisha and Nasser to to the school and to donate, and not only donate, to foster a plant. Aisha's already done that in Indonesia. She can definitely do that in her own country, in the school. What do you think, Christina?
I think it's wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Asha. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. I mean, of course, we want to work with the community, Qatar community, as close as possible. I think we're going to start from improving the school environment, but then extend to the Qatar community, and all the help, all the I mean, working together is exactly what we are looking for, to have collaboration from different aspects, to learn from others. And I can learn so much from you too. So please join us in this project, and to continue to work together towards a better environment and a better world.
Yeah, true. And like Sharpshooters International, they would like to foster a plan. So I'm going to start an initiative, Christina, with your blessings and Shashi's and all the parent volunteers, and of course your principal. A Big B project where we will have people donate and foster plants at the International School of London. I've already got Aisha on board, Sharpshooters International, Nasser, and myself. I want to donate, and I want to foster an adaptive plant, because I really can't afford bringing in mangoes from Bombay and India every summer. I might as well grow them in Doha, but it might take maybe 10 years. I don't know. Let's see. So we got to look at the 1950, the 50-year climate change issue. What do you think, Nasser? Yeah, we got one more person to donate a plant.
Yeah, of
Wow,
course.
lovely. I have a question for you. So, Christina, I have another lady. She is the beach cleaning up queen. I call her that, Shreya Suraj. She's wonderful. And there's a question by Salam's mother for you, Christina. The question is, when will this project be launched, and is it in all Doha schools or selective ones? Noura.
Yeah.
Nice one.
The moment we just look at the drawings made by the primary children, and Sashi and another architect and the other parents involved, we are discussing all the wish list that the students want to have in the forest, and they're going to make the design. After the designs are created, we have 3 designs. Then we're going to ask the school to vote for the one that suits the school best. We have a limited area, and we have to fill lots of. We want to put as many things as possible, but without. We need to leave the space for people to walk on the leaves, to feel comfortable in the space. We don't want to cram it too much. And so we're going to hopefully start digging or constructing over the summer. And then in September, when we come back, we are going to ask students to start selecting the plants and research as many native plants as possible.
Yeah.
And we are going to have a day that everybody is going to plant the trees.
Lovely.
And it's going to be in October.
Christina, I don't want to take any credit for anything, but was this any help?
Oh yes, this was wonderful. I mean, the calendar you gave me, and I gave to the Jerry, one of the parents is a garden designer, and so we are also to the students, because this is a very much student-based project. So they have to investigate what kind of trees you're going to use, what kind of plants. They get one of student in grade 9. He wants to investigate how to use water from humidity. And because irrigation is a problem, we have to, in a country like Qatar, we have to be careful not to waste water, and so it's very much part of our concern. So the students are investigating those questions.
And as a groundbreaking initiative and a thought leadership initiative, Christina, it would be nice for the school forest project to showcase it to the Ministry of Municipality and Environment, and also to the Ministry of Education. What do you think? What do you think, Aisha? Isn't it? It'd be a good thing to showcase.
Yes, it's actually important, because to gather all together and collaborate, as I mentioned before earlier, that it's good that the kids are learning how to plant. They're learning why it's important to plant. And Ministry of Environment, they might help by donating plants.
Very true, very true. Just a minute, Nasir. Yeah, I'll come back to you, because I wanted to say the same thing to Shashi, it'll be a good thing to have the International School of London showcase some of this for the World Cup fan zones, because I know they're going to have fan zone areas, and they'll talk about sustainability and the legacy that it's going to leave behind. This is a legacy because you actually have something from the stadiums. Instead of going to the landfill, it's coming to the school forest project. That is amazing. What do you think?
I think there can be like spin-off ideas we can showcase. There'll be something for fans to engage with. The actual stadiums themselves will have lots of potentials to learn from. But yeah, little projects like this will
Yeah,
be a brilliant sort of seed to educate everyone.
very
Definitely.
true. Aisha, you were talking to me about a Qatari initiative to plant 1 million trees or 1,000 trees, or what was
Yes,
that?
a million trees. It's a campaign under the um, Ministry of Environment and
Okay.
also Ashghal. They are collaborating together to plant a million tree.
Wow. So this could be also part of that initiative, because a school project
Yes,
I'm sure they're planting more than 100 trees.
yes,
So
and there is. I also mentioned to you there is an initiative, ladies Qatari initiative called Gharsa. Also, they might support and help with planting because they're
fantastic.
planting it. Yeah, they're planting in their own houses.
Okay. Well, they can plant one tree in their own house,
Yeah,
and one tree in the International School of London's garden.
not
Garden
only
of Eden.
trees, maybe other plants, maybe
Yeah,
vegetables, maybe.
Yeah.
yeah. Why not? Yeah. So it could be like the mini Al Madid garden at International School of London, or the
Without
mini.
المعاضيد.
Yeah, no, what I meant is, like, the family can plant, like the whole family of 3 or 4 or 10. They can plant a, 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 a
It's
group
like
of
tagged by
plants.
their name.
Exactly. How do you like that idea, Christina?
Yeah, I think it's lovely. I mean, I really would like that to happen. And so, Asha, please, we need to talk more about it. And
Absolutely. Very well. Yeah. So, thank you so much, Christina, for your time. I'm going to get back to
thank you.
Nasser on board, and it
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure to get you on the show once again. And have a lovely evening.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hala, hala, Nasser. You're back on the show. Yeah, hang on, guys. Let us
Yes.
continue, and we've already passed our 1 hour, so we got another 10 more minutes. Nasser's done with his question. Would you like to do your question, Aisha, and then I can go to Shashi, where you do a takeover of the program. You have a question for Shashi and Nasser and myself?
I know I don't have a question actually.
You have an answer then.
No, I have. I might keep it at the end. I just wanna.
Okay,
I have
okay,
something at the end. I just wanna say.
that's fine.
I
Yeah,
don't have
not
question.
not not everybody can be a host. Not everybody.
Just
But
VIP
but
people.
but I see great potential in Shashi. Shashi's got a couple of questions for sure. As a parent, I'm sure you do.
So I see lots of examples of greenwashing here, which is organizations and companies trying to depict that they're doing something green. And I'd like to ask both Aisha and Nasa, what examples have you seen here that misrepresent this cause?
Good question. Really good.
Do I talk or do you wanna start?
Yeah,
Um, let's go. Yeah, ladies first.
Okay.
yeah.
As I mentioned before, that we need to read and we need to learn. There is a lot of greenwash going on, and the problem is that some of the products they let you to believe that they are eco-friendly, but um, unfortunately they are not. So we really need to read. What I always say is we need to read the word that it's written on the product itself. If there is a word that we don't understand what is the meaning of it, and it's the first time that we hear it, we return it immediately. We don't buy it. We don't go for anything it's colored green. It means it's sustainable and it's eco-friendly. No, it's not. Anything with plants or anything is printed with organic, eco-friendly, vegan. No, it's not. We need to read any products, beverages, food, makeup, even cosmetics, shampoos, and other things.
I'd like to. Sorry. I was just gonna say I'd like to add on what Asha said, because I've watched this video that actually talked about greenwashing, and it says that there's these products that they technically make it have ingredients or especially like when I was into the vegan lifestyle, I saw videos of the like people talking about how they added these animal they made products where they're not animal, it's not, there was no animal abuse going through, but turns out there was other aspects of it that was actually making it false, make it a false claim. But they actually go through that process so that they could have the label on the cover, so that
Yeah. Well said. Huh? Well said. That's I've seen that actually. Let me add my 2 cents. I've seen that on a David Attenborough program a couple of weeks ago on Netflix, and it's about overfishing. Or depleting the fishing population, and the trawlers are like the mass murderers of the sea. And very well said. So we get brainwashed with the greenwash, and we have the label on the tuna tin can, and because a green what I think it's a red fin tuna, it in Japan, yellow fin tuna, sorry, it sells for $1 million. So you can imagine, and those fish are actually super predators, and it's just amazing to see how these people hunt them down. We should watch that episode on Our Planet. It's called Our Planet on Netflix. We lost Nasser for a bit, but that's not a problem. Aisha, is your question answered?
No, I didn't ask a question.
I asked the question, Bosco.
Shashi asked the question.
Yeah.
I said I don't have questions.
The reason I asked the question is, I was looking at a tissue box for the show, and it has all these symbols like recycled symbols, recyclable, and you need to be very curious as to what is being written down, because if a cardboard box is recyclable, doesn't mean it's come from a recycled source. So what everyone needs to be is curious and make sure that the claims that are being made are actually legitimate and true to what's being projected, because a lot of this is being used as a marketing ploy to try and make more sales, to try and depict that the right thing is being done, but in many cases it's not. And this is one of my roles throughout my professional life, and right down to being here in Doha, is always about verifying what's being said and looking at the evidence of what's being produced.
There is no watchdog here. There is no watchdog here in Doha, to see that, and that may be another issue. We should, if that could happen, I think it is the Ministry of.
I think there's a consumer protection branch in Baladia, but what I'm trying to get at is to get people to be educated themselves,
more conscious,
to actually query this through their own knowledge and not just take everything at face value. And they need to be more curious and learn more about the issues involved.
Yeah, true. We've actually lost Nasser, but I think it's fine. Uh, what we're going to do is we're going to close in a couple of minutes. As I always close with a message from each of one of y'all, your message of love and peace and of sustainability of environment. I'd love that from you, each one of you. But before that, would you all like to say anything else that we missed upon? Anything about World Environment Day or the ecosystem restoration? Because I just want to say, again, going back to David Attenborough's program, if you and he said, if you give Mother Earth a break, a little bit of a chance, it's self restoration on herself. There was a reef, I think in the Pacific, where they said it's a no fishing zone, and in a couple of months, or I don't know if it's a year, the fish stock returned on its own. So if we can stop overfishing and over abusing, the earth will restore itself. But nope, I don't think we are doing that. So we need more green ambassadors like yourself, like Sashi, like Nasser and Shreya and Jose and so many other people who are actually trying to make a change here, and they are making one, but we're still bleeding. So on that note, would you like to say anything else, Aisha and Shashi?
Aisha, please.
Yeah, as I told you, I don't have a question to ask. I just want to say a brief message from me that we don't want to make a World Environment Day just one day. We want it to be in the whole year. We want it to be our regular routine to reduce plastic. As mentioned, Nasser, to be on a vegan diet or to reduce the
Yeah,
meat, we cut meat. So we want to know exactly why we are doing this. We need to be more educated. We don't want to wait for the ministry or anyone else to tell us, no, don't use this is dangerous, or don't use this is not good for your health, and so on. We should educate ourselves as an individual. As Ausha, I need to learn and read. Do I really need this or I don't? Do this really will, is it a well-being for me and for the environment or not? So everyone can have an action and no one stops. Everyone should try. Small actions really matters, and believe in yourself. Your actions will matter. You can inspire your family, your friends, your relatives, your colleagues. Maybe one action can affect other people, and it will be with them till I don't know when. So
true, true.
I do believe in everyone's action. Yeah, this is my message that I want to say.
Lovely. I,
Or
I
this
love
is
that
the
message.
question. Thank you.
That's a question and answer
Thank
and
you
a
so
lovely
much,
message.
Bosco, for what you're doing. It's amazing, actually. You know, we and the audience today, it's all from all around the world. Many
Yeah.
people, maybe some of them doesn't know where is Qatar exactly. So it's nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and Sashi is a revelation here. People are starting to like this guy. We need to. So this. We've only spoken to Shashi about the school project as a parent volunteer, but I would love to be educated on the sustainability architecture part. And we will get there in the future, maybe sometime in September or October. Sashi, I'd like to
Absolutely.
invite you and a couple of other architects that I know. I don't know if you're part. I was part of a group called the Architects Hub of Qatar.
I've heard of it,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. I was part of that group as an architect. I mean, as a photographer for architecture. So I'd love to connect you with them, and maybe we'll have a session on that in the future. Green building, of course. Yeah. What is your
Definitely.
message, Shashi, for us and for our audience?
So I think it's for me, it's all about the choices we make. So everything needs to be framed within the lens, through the lens of environment and sustainability. We're making choices every day of our lives in terms of the transport we use, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the investment decisions, where our money goes. There's many things, and what we need to start appreciating is what is the impact of these choices. What can we do that's going to be done better in terms of the actual environment and creating a sustainable future, because it's not just up to our children. This project, we're hoping to plant a seed which will grow and develop, but it's up to everyone really. It can't just be the green champions and the ambassadors and stuff. These are figureheads. They're very important, but it is actually up to everyone to actually to get this going and to bring the importance of, because it is the issue of our age in many ways. We're talking about our very survival in many ways. So and calling it global warming, I think downgrades it. It's catastrophic global heating is what we're dealing with, and I'll say if we can't get it right here in a place that's already hot, we won't be getting it right anywhere else in the world. So we're on the front line here, and we can do some really good things and lead the way. Okay.
Wow, powerful. Very. That's heated up the conversation already, and we actually need to finish it. Very well said. Actually, today was 43 degrees, and I believe we've even reached 48, and in some summers ago, and I think Kuwait has touched 50, but they will not tell you that.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'd like to thank one and all. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Shashi, and thank you, Nasser. I'm sure he's listening. And thank you all the guests for tuning in to the show. And I'm so proud of the 50th episode. And Aisha was one of she was on this episode in the first 5 episodes. We started last year during COVID. Bigby Meetup was actually a physical event we had. My first event was in April 2018, and it was on wellness. We have 4 pillars of Bigby Meetup. One is sports and wellness. One is disability, which is championing people who are differently abled. One is on artists, celebrating artists, and the last one is Istidama. Istidama was co-curated by myself and a close friend, Farhan Sakal. He's a Turkish-German archaeologist with Qatar Museums, and he came up to me and said, Bosco, you should do something on sustainability. You're doing such a lovely program. And I give full credit to him for this. He's a wonderful gentleman, and he's a keen member of the Doha Environment Protection Group, Action Protection Group, yeah. So thank you, International School of London. Thank you, Aisha, Shashi, Shishore Group, I Love Qatar, who have been with us, supporting us from day one. AG Leaves, Qatar Living, and Oryx Radio. And have a pleasant evening, guys. And think green, think sustainable, because the heat is on.
Absolutely.
Masalama.
Thank you, Bosco. Thank you.